Grab your pillows and blankets, because Hot Turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Your weeknights are getting a whole lot better. With Jimmy Fallon, 7 to 10 p.m.
To the PHT audience, welcome. It's a station that has such good relationships with its listeners. Listeners who are passionate about the country that we live in. Listeners who reside in the state that will decide this very next election. So I kind of feel like we were meant for each other. As people who care, as people who can converse honestly about issues, it's a big deal to get on a station that prioritizes these relationships with their listeners.
Jimmy Fallon, now weeknights, 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Backing the Blue is something we do, focusing in on a community that is rallying for the family of a slain Pennsylvania State police officer who was stabbed to death on a hiking trail. So he was off duty at the time, PSP, Pennsylvania State Police Officer Benjamin J. Brayler, 44 years young, of Kennedy Township, formerly of Moon Township, but from Pennsylvania, obviously. And he had been found stabbed to death while running near Hassam Road. This is on a trail. I guess his family had been visiting in Maryland when this occurred, and he was attacked by this suspect who's now under arrest. So they had been just on a beautiful afternoon on a hiking running trail out for a run. That suspect, 25-year-old Anthony Antonia Kaysen, has a bunch of names here, of Baltimore, Maryland, under arrest, charged with criminal homicide. That's according to all of the court dockets. He's held right now in the Allegheny County Jail. And so this Officer Benjamin, a member of the Pennsylvania State Police for more than 20 years, we're told, and leaves behind his wife of 16 years, Sarah, their two daughters, his sister, and extended family. So I know that they had set up the GoFundMe for him, but another slain officer. No, it was not in the line of duty, but still, backing the blue is important to us, and we hope, that you join us, unfortunately not in person tomorrow, but we will be, the benefit tomorrow, it is tomorrow, where we're live and local at a local FOP, but just keep in mind that the money that we're raising tomorrow, and you can still donate, is all for the families, that we want to back the badge there. So for this officer, I know that there was a GoFundMe that was set up because this is just a tragic story and it has gone viral. So we're just so sorry to hear this. They've raised more than $63,000 for this family on a GoFundMe, but it's just important that we share that information for you with our law enforcement. I don't have all the details of it. I just wanted to update you with that one. And of course, we'll get to all of it. I mean, Elon Musk now, are you surprised that DOJ sending him a warning letter, if you will, Department of Justice, with everything going on.
Yeah, right.
Right now, right? With the lawlessness we've seen in our country. And who are they going after? Elon Musk. And, quite frankly, if he did do something illegal by asking people to sign a petition that supports the First and Second Amendments in the Constitution of the United States of America, if he had done anything illegal at all, don't you think they would have charged him? That's like a cop who doesn't, a cop who doesn't, like you. And so they knock on your door and say, yeah, I don't like the way you look. So just a warning to you. It's like, well, officer, if I did something illegal, you would have arrested me and filed the charges, right? And so obviously they have nothing.
You want an opposing voice on this? We got Josh Shapiro.
I think there are real questions with how is spending money in this race, how the dark money is flowing, not just into Pennsylvania, but apparently now into the pockets of Pennsylvanians. That is deeply concerning. Look, Musk obviously has a right to be able to express his views. Yes. He's made it very, very clear that he supports Donald Trump. I don't, obviously we have a difference of opinion. I don't deny him that right. But when you start flowing this kind of money into politics, I think it raises serious questions that folks may want to take a look at.
Folks may want to take a look at. Now, here's the thing about Governor Josh Shapiro, who's obviously from Montgomery County, Abington area. He knows, as somebody who has worked as the Attorney General, and when he was asked that question, he pushed it off. He said, well, I'm not the Attorney General anymore. Well, you know the laws. He knows the laws. He's a smart guy. And so if he thought that, yes, absolutely, Elon Musk is breaking a law, he could have named the law. But the truth of the matter is that you cannot pay somebody, right? You cannot pay a voter to do certain things, to vote for somebody or to register. You can't do all that stuff, which is why Musk says, hey, sign my petition. As somebody who signs up every day for this thing, because I always think it's a refresh. I don't know if they're drawing from the same pool, but I'm assuming it's like...
You got to read the small print, because there's someone in the chat that was just alleging that it's disqualifying from multiple entries.
Is that real?
I don't know. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Right?
That should be illegal. But the thing about it is, I'm teasing.
Disqualified, Dawn.
But the thing about it is, I assumed that if they get a new winner, isn't it like, they start fresh and they want the new petition signers. That's what I get for not reading.
I do have the small print.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay.
Each person may only sign the petition once. Eligible people may only list one eligible person as the referrer. Signing the petition on behalf of another person is not permitted. Before payment is made, America PAC will verify the accuracy of all information of the referrer and the referee. Is that really what it is? Referrer and referee? Is that the word?
Well, if somebody referenced you, if somebody's
you're a referee? Really? Or referee?
A referee.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all legalese. How the lawyers talk.
So from reading that, it seems that you can only do it once. I do apologize. I don't think it's disqualifying. I would think that they only take the one petition and submit
Did you take your first one?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well,
Elon Musk giveaway. Now, the new headline today, get this. And this is really terrible. The new headline is that it could land voters in legal trouble. And then it says, a legal expert has said. So one legal expert. Now, the first day this came out, I was quoting, and it was ABC News to their credit, and they were interviewing some of the big legal scholars at, like UCLA in California and New York, and they were saying that technically Musk, by asking people to sign a petition supporting the First and Second Amendments, that and it's open to voters in 6 swing states: Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina, as well as here in Pennsylvania, right? And so they were saying, well, if that's it, then it's technically not illegal. Now, if he had said, hey, once you vote early and show me proof that you voted, you know what I mean, or that you registered, and then I'll put you in the sweepstakes, then I guess that's illegal. But he did not do that. Now the new headline from, I guess, one legal expert is that, in fact, if I sign the petition, am I in trouble? This is intimidation. You know what I mean?
I do have more.
This is like Godfather.
I do have more of the argument from the other side, if you want to hear. Here's CNN.
What is the Justice Department saying, as far as we know?
The Justice Department.
Hey, Kate, good morning. Well,
this
sources familiar with the situation told CNN that the Justice Department indeed did send a letter to Elon Musk's super PAC warning them that this sweepstakes might violate federal law. It's against the law. It's a crime to pay people to register to vote.
Which he never did.
Or to incentivize voter registration with cash or prizes. And the way that this system was set up here by Musk's super PAC, they launched a petition. They said if you sign the petition, you could win $1 million. But the fine print makes clear that in order to sign, Kate, you need to be a registered voter, and also you need to live in a battleground state, which immediately raised the eyebrows of many of the legal experts that we're speaking to. And, those concerns seem to be founded because this was followed up with a letter from the Justice Department.
So even some of the articles that I'm reading, so one expert in, this is Los Angeles, John Perlstein, he told Newsweek that anybody who accepts Musk's offer, now does that mean me because I signed the petition? I'm not really sure, but I could go to jail.
Is this a personal question?
I guess that we could be in legal jeopardy.
What petition? You never signed the petition.
I did though. I signed it.
You're too
What's
honest,
wrong
though.
with? But that's just it. Out of all the stuff, let's just put it that way, that goes on, this is the most transparent situation where the guy stands on a stage and tells you everything. Then you go to the site and you can click on, yes, I support the Constitution and the First and Second Amendment. And then you sign it electronically if you want to, enter in to win the $1 million. So that's pretty transparent. And it's not even personal, right? It's not even personal. And I didn't see anywhere on there where it has anything to do with your vote. So then they even acknowledge in their article that from their understanding, election experts are split on the legality of the situation, that it's not currently illegal. Listen to this wording. I mean, they are jumping through hoops to try to make it sound like you could get in trouble if you sign the petition. So who's trying to interfere here? Do you know what I'm saying? I feel they're interfering. I'm the interferee. Referee. See why I can never be a lawyer? But basically, aren't they interfering? Aren't they saying that, oh, you better not do that. You better not go on that site. You better not follow Elon Musk because, we might knock on your door and we might arrest you. So isn't that intimidation? But they say it's not currently illegal, but many feel it should be illegal due to the influence it could have. Talk about a word salad. My gosh.
Take after the presidential candidate.
Right?
Did you hear Batman had something to say about this? Yeah, Michael Keaton chimed in.
Oh, the good Batman.
Oh, well, you think so?
Unlike, Rich Scioli, can't stand Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
The bad Batman. So at least Keaton, he was a better Batman.
Was he the one with the nipples or no? I think that was
No, that was Clooney.
Was that Clooney? Okay.
It's scary that I know that.
Well, here's Michael Keaton weighing in on Trump and Elon Musk. Take a listen.
Hey, hi, Michael. For some of you folks who, guys mostly, I guess, who are thinking about attending a rally with Musk and Trump, they don't really respect you. They laugh at you behind your back. They think you're stupid. They don't want to hang out with you. They have nothing in common with you. They're not your bros. And I'm telling you, when Trump, years ago, I guess, said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they'd still vote for me, basically what he's saying in parentheses is, these people are so stupid, they're so dumb, they'd still vote for me. They have no respect for you, trust me.
The good Batman, Dawn.
I know. You know what the bummer is? All these actors and performers, just stay out of it. You know what I mean? Because then you see him in the, whatever movie and you think, I like him as an actor. Just stay out of it. Because
yes.
Has Bruce Springsteen or Michael Keaton or who's the other one? Meryl Streep or Madonna, all these different celebrities, whoever they are, have they really influenced one vote? Do these individuals who are wealthier than and live a life that we could, George Clooney, they live a life that we could never imagine. They own so many homes, 5, 7 homes.
Anne-Marie Muldoon, friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours. Yeah, she said yesterday, she goes, Bruce is slowly killing me. And I said, just now? She goes, I'm having flashbacks to Obama again. This is not fun. You feeling the same way?
No, I'm kind of, here's the thing. I'm over it. I'm really over it. I used, because my husband, Larry, has loved Bruce Springsteen. We went to so many concerts. We have great memories. And so I'll just leave the memories lie.
There you
go.
I'll
let it go.
Yeah.
I'm no longer triggered. Scioli and Stocker especially used to trigger me all the time, but now I'm hardened. I'm hardened to it.
You're numb to it.
I'm numb to it. All these celebrities, and they think that they can make a difference, and they don't. And it's, when I don't know if you watched, and I have to watch this for my job, so it's torture. But so I watched the entire thing with Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States. First of all, Dan and I, just to go through it, we were still here yesterday during the Dom show, obviously.
Yeah.
When we were working on a little something in the back, and you were running in between, the Dom show live, and we're working on some things. And then we look up and we say, "Oh, the Vice President holding a news conference." Wow. And
It must be important.
It must be, because when has she done one? It never. I can't even think of if she has. And I thought, oh, Dan, she's going to try to look presidential.
Why don't you turn that up, Dawn?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
Let's turn it up.
Yesterday, we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff,
Oh, come on!
a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had.
Oh. And so, now, just think about this. Have you ever worked for a boss
The
boss who you thought was evil? Not a tough boss, okay, not fair, but somebody who you genuinely thought was Hitler-esque, somebody who is an anti-Semite and an evil to the core individual. And then if you worked for that person, and I probably have in my career, the first thing that I did was I told everybody that I thought that person was individual. I'm not going to say who it wasn't here. It was earlier in my career, but I got, like, you hear the voice, "Get out," the Amityville horror voice.
Yeah.
And then you tell everybody, no, this person, there's something wrong. This person's evil. This person is rotten to the core, right? And you're looking for a job and you want to get out of there because you think that person is genuinely a horrible person and is, especially if somebody's an anti-Semite who has actually said things that are anti-Semitic. And then wouldn't you go to, the HR department if you actually believed, right, that your boss, whoever that boss is, right?
You're telling me you wouldn't sit on your hands for years and wait on it and write it into a book just before an election?
I would not.
Oh.
I would not.
Really?
And so I will tell you.
Sarcasm, by the way.
This happened to me in my career where there was a situation that I witnessed. I did complain about it, and it was not to my advantage career-wise, but then I was asked to testify about it, and I did a deposition, and I told the truth. And the anchor woman involved, who, if I said her name, I don't think I should locally, but she's, somebody who's kind of a big deal here in Philadelphia, and she won her federal lawsuit because I told the truth of what I witnessed. The thing about it is, if you're a genuine person, and I've never talked about this before, but if you genuinely think something is sexist or racist or ageist, and you're asked about it, and other people in the newsroom, they witnessed it too, people were too afraid or whatever to come forward, you have to, if you believe that and you witness that, you need to come forth, even though it's going to hurt your career. There's no question you're going to get a backlash. And so, honest to God, my question is, if this individual really thought that he worked for, and this is the presidency, that the president of the United States, who you accepted a job and held that position within the administration, the longest person serving in that position, which was only, these positions go quickly because you're working 24/7. It was like a year and a half, I believe, or less. But if you do that job and then you remain silent during the job and then you remain silent for years afterward, in my humble opinion, you did a disservice to everybody you worked for, to the country that you say you served honorably, and you lose all credibility. And by the way, now the news headlines that say all of this, and this is horrifying. If this is really true, by the way, wouldn't you want a recording if you really thought the president of the United States of America is saying anti-Semitic things and is saying that he supports like Hitler and the movement? Oh my goodness, that is horrific. That's scary. You have a duty then to actually record that person and to get tangible evidence of it and to turn it over. Did he do that? No. Did he report it then? No. Did he report it right when he was fired? No. And by the way, reportedly, there are reports now that he allegedly left because there were conflicts of interest with his work working for defense-type contractors. So I don't have all of that, which is why I'm not going to bring forth everything I'm being told, right, until I can fully confirm that. But to me, this has zero credibility. We should be outraged that somebody holds this really until less than 2 weeks before a re-election. No, that does not, it's not authentic. It's horrible to do to people. And then everybody else who worked for Trump, they're all coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, I was there. This never happened. This is a lie. This is just an out and out lie, and it's terrible. So you tell me, what do you think about that? And Trump obviously released a statement.
You're right on point. And a lot of the listeners, youtube.com/@12WPHT, go like and subscribe. Sue says, that's because you have morals, Dawn. Cassie says, something similar happened to me personally. Peter says, you're complicit. And Suze again says, right, Dawn, in my opinion, that makes that person not credible.
Yeah, amen. And it's a shame that they've, for whatever reason, they have gotten him to come out as, was this their big October surprise? You know, and this after Trump had an amazing weekend in Bucks County at the McDonald's. And so in a positive energy way, just greeting people, it was very organic. And you just see the video. I mean, and everybody's taking the video, right? And so they had to put the kibosh on that with something like this. But I'll just point out to you, there's a whole lot going on in the world. I would have had more respect for the situation if the Vice President of the United States had held that news conference, had talked about troops. I mean, two enemy powers coming together. And as I reported to you, these North Korean troops now by the thousands training in Russia and the implications worldwide to this happening with the Ukraine-Russia situation. So if she had talked about that and looked commander-in-chiefy, because I don't think she looks or has the credibility of an actual commander-in-chief, but if she had looked a little commander-in-chiefy to try to come out and talk about it, then I would have had a little bit more respect. But the woman never took not one question, never talked about news, but rather talked about campaign rhetoric and then walked away, never taking one question from a reporter.
He wants unchecked power. The question in 13 days will be, what do the American people want?
We don't want you, Mama. We do not want you. And that was a fake news conference. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. Quick break. Be right back. Thanks, Dan.
I walk the avenue till my legs. Buy low, sell high. It's a cardinal rule of investing. With the market near record highs, you need a proven system that protects what you have earned without sacrificing opportunity for growth.
Jim O'Neill, Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. With the stock market at record highs, I would recommend taking your money and put it into a crash-proof retirement system. This year, I have earned over 14%, and it can't be taken away.
Gail Schlosser, and I started with crash-proof retirement in 2016. I'm getting great returns, up to 12 to 15%, and it's not going to dwindle away in the stock market.
Regina Kukulski, Langhorne. This year, I earned 10.5% interest. I feel really good looking at that because it's not money I lost.
Dolores Queen, Hatboro, Pennsylvania. We have outperformed the market this year, and when we earn 14%, it's ours to keep.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Springfield Country Club, November 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Enjoy all the NFL action with a chance to win on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win a bet on a game this week. My favorite feature on the app, though, is the parlay. I love the parlay. Eagles playing the Bengals this week. Joe Burrow due over passing yards. A.J. Brown, anytime touchdown, you got to go with him. Jalen Hurts maybe under on the passing. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom, D-O-M, to make every moment more this season. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You have to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
The leaves are changing color, the air is crisp, and it's the perfect time to fall into savings on a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. Take advantage of these incredible offers. A 2025 XC40 for only $435 per month on a 36-month lease. A 2024 C40 for only $329 per month on a 36-month lease. Or get 3.99% financing on select new Volvos for 72 months. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter.
The 2024 presidential election is here. With the race neck and neck and with so much at stake, MSNBC has the in-depth coverage and analysis you need. Our reporters are on the ground, and we're breaking down the numbers until every last vote is counted, providing you with insight on what it all means for the future of our country. Watch coverage of the 2024 presidential election Tuesday, November 5th, and listen to MSNBC Live on the free Odyssey app or wherever you watch MSNBC.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Hey, Mount Laurel. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
We talk about the top of the ticket all the time, and of course, the all-important Senate race, where combat war veteran Dave McCormick, turned private businessman, a native Pennsylvanian with a rich history here in Pennsylvania, is giving Bob Casey, the senior senator, a run for his money. Will the incumbent win his fourth term as a career politician? So we talk about that one a lot. But there's another Pennsylvania race that is making national attention. It's a Pennsylvania House race that national news like NBC, ABC, CBS, they've had headlines recently, and they say that this particular Pennsylvania House race could predict who wins the presidency. Who are we talking about? And why are these party leaders flooding in to Pennsylvania's 7th district, where this race between an incumbent Democrat, Representative Susan Wild, and my next guest, Republican Ryan McKenzie, well, this could be pivotal. So we wanted to hear from and get to know Ryan McKenzie, who's a Republican here in Pennsylvania. Ryan, good morning. Thank you so much for joining
he's coming
me.
up here after the break.
Oh, he's not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. But first.
I was jumping ahead.
No, you're fine, because I wanted to set up, though, before Ryan comes on.
Okay.
You can't watch an Eagles game without seeing an ad that's about his opponent. And there's one particular ad that yesterday we discussed.
Oh, my gosh.
Really, really impactful. And this is a portion of the reason why we're bringing Ryan on, is to talk about his opponent and things like this. Take a listen.
A young boy brutally raped in a psychiatric hospital by his counselor. And whose side was Susan Wild on? The hospital's. As a corporate attorney, Wild claimed the hospital wasn't responsible. She argued the boy's rape was simply a medical incident. That's right. Susan Wild called rape a medical incident. And she did it for the money. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why you're seeing all of these ads with regard to one incumbent, Susan Wild, it's because Republicans see a real opportunity. They like this Republican candidate in particular, who's going door to door, working hard to get Pennsylvanians' vote. This is the Lehigh Valley 7th Congressional District. And by and large, every pundit I'm seeing nationally, especially and locally, say that this congressional district actually, it could be a bellwether. It could determine which party controls the House next year, if not the White House. So it's a big interview coming up with one Ryan McKenzie. Can't wait to hear from him for sure. So we'll talk to him in just moments. But first, I got to talk about my kitchen. Little magic. Do you have a little magic in your kitchen? You know, when I talk, or am I talking about my house?
No, you're talking about your windows and doors.
Sorry, I thought it was.
No, you're totally fine.
You know, when I think about, I was just talking to some of the folks from Chapman, and that's just that they're local. Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding. They're local, Chester County, two brothers, Mike and Mark, started their business, about 30 years ago. Family-run business. As their families have grown, their business has grown, and their incredible reputation as well, because they do have an incredible reputation for sure. I can vouch for them. Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding. Here's the thing. I love the work they've done in my home, and right now, if you want to update your front entry door, you got to do this. All you have to do is send Chapman a photo of your current front door, because they have this incredible situation where they're giving you the chance to get $1,000 credit toward a brand new front door. All you have to do, like I say, send them a photo of your current front door. By the way, everybody who sends in the photo, you're going to get a $500 credit, but one lucky listener, or if you're a viewer on YouTube, I guess, if you send a photo, maybe the one who needs the most TLC, let's say, on your front door, you are going to win that big prize of $1,000 in credit toward that brand new front door. Whether it's a single door, the double door, the door with the side lights, that's what I have. They're going to do a beautiful job. It's going to just boost the value of your home and certainly boost the beauty. It's a makeover instantly, as I like to say, because, people come up to your front door, drive up to the front door. It's the first thing people notice, kind of like when they notice your smile, right? And so when that front door dazzles, people are going to love it. You're going to love it. So you got to give them a call. You can text them. You can call 610-431-8898, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Are you worried about your roof handling the next storm?
At Emmons Roofing and Siding, we provide top quality roofing services that fit your budget and stand the test of time.
And our team of roofing experts ensures your home stays safe and dry with durable, reliable roofing solutions to any problems you may have. Plus, at Emmons, we offer free inspections and free estimates.
So call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
New Jersey, this is Lieutenant Governor Tahisha Way. Vote in person on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, or early in person starting Saturday, October 26th, or vote by mail. Details at vote.nj.gov.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Wawa's hot turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets, because hot turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Free speech lives here with Don Stensland, 10 till noon on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
Everybody keeps telling me, every expert, every pundit keeps telling me, Dawn, it's all about Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania will decide, certainly the next president of the United States. Pennsylvania could sway the way the House goes, the way the Senate goes, and that's why you're seeing all the media focus on Pennsylvania and, all the biggity bigs here. But have you noticed where many of them are going? And that's the 7th Congressional District, which pretty much everybody, by all accounts, all the experts, the insiders, and I guess the outsiders too, say the 7th Congressional District could determine which party controls the House next year, if not the White House. I want to welcome in State Representative, Pennsylvania Representative Ryan McKenzie, who has a Republican with a very long family history in the district. So, Ryan, welcome in, and it's so great to have you here.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. So, you're making a lot of national headlines. I had seen on, some of the network, there was NBC, Fox, CBS, ABC, everybody's mentioning this district, taking a closer look. And in fact, many of them saying this has to do with the Latino vote, Latino-owned small businesses. What do you see and what are you saying as we come down to the wire here less than 2 weeks to the election?
Sure. So first of all, I do think that that's an accurate statement. I mean, we know that Pennsylvania is a key swing state for the presidency and for the future of our country. Within Pennsylvania, the 7th district, which is the greater Lehigh Valley area, is a swing district within a swing state. And that's why so many people are paying attention to this race. It is what's rated as a lean Republican seat, but unfortunately, we have been stuck with a far left progressive liberal in the name of Susan Wild. She's been here for 3 terms. She votes 100% on Bidenomics. She votes against border wall funding and illegal immigration every chance she gets. She supports all the chaos around the world, the failed foreign policies of Joe Biden. But we've been stuck with her because oftentimes it's very difficult to get an incumbent out of office. So I've been in the state legislature for 12 years, and I'm stepping up to challenge her to try to get her removed from office and bring back real representation to our district and our area. And I think we have a great shot to do it. And it's because people are ready for change. And specifically, you brought up the Hispanic population here in our area. There is a very vibrant and growing Hispanic population. But the thing that we're finding is their issues are the same as everybody else. They are suffering with high inflation. They don't like the crime and the drugs that are in their communities. And they want change. They want accountability out of their representation in Washington, D.C., and again, Susan Wild has failed on all of these fronts. So I was just door knocking yesterday, met an individual. He's a new citizen of Hispanic origin here in the area, and he knew all about Susan Wild's track record. I didn't even have to tell him about that, and he said, absolutely not. And so he was very open to my door knocking. And then after we were walking away, he said, you have my vote, and I'm going to call everybody else in my family. You're going to get all of our votes because we need real change in this country. So we're very optimistic about what we're seeing and hearing on the ground, and I think people are tired of the failed foreign policy, the failed inflation and economic policy, the failed immigration policy. All of these things should be, and we are laying at the feet of Susan Wild right here in the Lehigh Valley.
And, that's just it, that we keep hearing at the national level the conversation over immigration, over the wide open border. And I don't know if you saw I know you're busy with your own campaign, but Vice President Harris was in Delaware County, closer to Philadelphia, for that CNN, nationally televised on CNN town hall, and people asking about immigration. To his credit, even Anderson Cooper had said to the vice president, that they had, years to even do what Biden Harris did just this past June, which was try to shut things down after just letting tons of people come in without even really vetting them. And we now know that these, among a lot of good folks, there were a whole lot of bad folks, of people who are convicted criminals in their own countries. And that's why we've seen the gangs and the human traffickers and the drug all of that happening. And so that's important. It's an important issue that obviously where you are with the Latino population in the Allentown area. How are you received from those business owners who are here legally, who have businesses?
Yeah, hugely supportive, and it's been very encouraging. We were just at an event last week and went to the event, a Hispanic Heritage Month event in downtown Allentown, and the response was off the charts. I mean, we were blown away, and it was very encouraging, very heartwarming to see that, again, our message is resonating. And, again, I think it's wrong to kind of try to separate out that community and their interests away from the general public, because their residents, if they're voting and they're residents and citizens just like everybody else in our community, they're seeing the high inflation, they're seeing the high prices, they're seeing all of these other problems in their local community, and they know who created these problems. They are very well aware that the problems that we are seeing and talking about right now are what has been created by the federal government and their failed policies. And so, I just, am a little shocked when I think folks from the outside try to come into our community and, they ask questions like this, because first of all, about half of the Hispanic population in our area is Puerto Rican. So they are actually U.S.-born citizens eligible to vote. So the notion that they would somehow be okay with illegal immigration is really offensive to those people. They are native-born U.S. citizens. The other half of the population, I'm talking in broad brushstrokes, is Dominican, and they have come here legally, and they want other people to come here legally as well. And so they find it offensive also that they played by the rules, they did the right thing, oftentimes waiting a very long time to gain their citizenship, and then other people are just going to jump the line and come here illegally. So I don't believe that our Hispanic community has different interests. I think when I'm out there talking to them, their interests are aligned with the general public. And again, on every one of these fronts nowadays, the Democrats in Washington, D.C. have failed us. So I think we're looking for a real big change here in the Lehigh Valley, and I think every part of our district and every community is a part of that movement as well.
Ryan, I know that you go back with your family 9 generations. I enjoyed reading about, that your ancestors many moons ago in Northampton County there, in the militia during the Revolutionary War, quite a great family history, and then went on to have family members, fighting in the world wars and in work and serving in our military. But for you, what are you most proud of as far as your accomplishments, particularly in Harrisburg, because you are a state representative and want to go for obviously a national office in the Congress and the House. But what are you most proud of?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and thank you for bringing that up, because we do want people that actually can get things done to help our community. And so my track record in Harrisburg is one of bipartisan results. I've been able to pass 12 pieces of legislation, things like cutting and eliminating taxes, helping veterans get jobs as they return from service by creating a program that helps them start their own businesses here in the Commonwealth. A number of other things, but the 2 things that I am most proud of are legislative initiatives that I was able to pass, but now other members have taken on this fight as well, and they're going to be carrying on even after I leave the legislature. Those 2 items are maternal health and combating illegal immigration. Very different issues, but what I did was I passed legislation which created a maternal mortality review committee here in Pennsylvania to investigate the unfortunate instances where a woman dies either in childbirth or shortly thereafter because of complications from childbirth. And then that committee provides recommendations about the ways that we can improve healthcare in Pennsylvania. And so that committee has now been in place for a number of years. They are providing those recommendations, and we are actually coming up with legislative initiatives and items to actually address those things. And we actually just passed one that another member introduced as legislation to correct one of the things that we had heard as a recommendation. So that's great. That movement is now alive and well, and as a new father, somebody who has a 6-month-old, and I understand those situations can be sometimes very tricky and challenging from a healthcare perspective, so we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to have a safe healthcare situation and environment here in Pennsylvania for maternal health. So that's great. That's one of the things that I'm proud of that's off and running. The second is illegal immigration. So a number of years ago, I authored legislation to expand E-Verify here in Pennsylvania for the construction industry. We had heard from both union and non-union stakeholders about illegal immigrants coming in from other states, taking away Pennsylvania jobs and American jobs, undercutting American wages, And so they said we need to do something about it. And so we passed with super majorities in the House and Senate legislation that now mandates E-Verify for the construction industry. So that is something that I think is a positive thing. We're trying to expand that now to other industries here in Pennsylvania. And again, even though I'm leaving, there are other members that are really taking up the fight and doing what we can at the state level to address illegal immigration, because there are only a couple levers we can kind of pull. It's obviously mostly a federal issue, but I'm glad to see that we're trying to do what we can to fight back and push back against illegal immigration here in Pennsylvania.
And what's your view? I know I could go through. You actually were pretty busy. You've been pretty busy, working on. I love that your program that I had read about, I guess a month or two ago, where you really pushed for a state program that was a startup for soldiers that,
Yes.
so they could start their own businesses.
That's correct. So what we found, I focus on issues around labor, what we consider labor and industry here in Pennsylvania, and one of those things is workforce development. And so, unfortunately, what we have seen is that so many soldiers returning from service who have had great experiences. They've obviously had different professions and different jobs and occupations in the military, but transitioning out of the military is sometimes challenging in terms of translating those experiences to the private sector. And then also, we find that a lot of military members and people who are returning from service want to do something entrepreneurial, but they maybe don't know where to start. And so they're trying to say, hey, I have this great experience, this great skill set, what do we do? And so we created this Startups for Soldiers program to help them, guide them through that process as they return from their service, and then waive all of the startup filing fees for creating a business here in Pennsylvania. And to date, I think I've even lost count. It's over 10,000 individuals that have returned from service and utilized that program, saving over $1 million for those individuals. And that's awesome. We want to not only reward their service, but help them transition back to the private sector. And then if they're doing something entrepreneurial like that, I'm sure some of them are going to be very successful, and they're going to be creating jobs for a lot of other people here in Pennsylvania. So it's a great program all around that is being very heavily utilized in our state, and I was glad that I was able to lead the fight on that and author the legislation to create that program here in Pennsylvania.
Here with Ryan McKenzie. I wanted to ask you about, and congratulations to you and your wife, just celebrating the birth of your baby son, but there are many that I talk to in this area. A huge issue is this Title IX issue. Where do you stand on the issue of Title IX and biological males playing in sports with girls and young women?
Yeah, this is just an issue of fairness. We need to make sure that we are protecting girls in their sports, we need to make sure that they can compete fairly. Sports are something that I participated in growing up, and I'm sure many other people obviously do in the community. And it's a great way to build teamwork, experience, and confidence, and be able to go out and compete and show what you're made of. To be competing against biological males is simply unfair, and quite honestly, it's also dangerous, as we've seen in some instances. And so that is a very real problem. I have voted for legislation in the House to prohibit that here in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, my opponent, Susan Wild, she took the total opposite direction, and when legislation came up at the federal level, she voted for allowing this practice to continue. And so that is something that I think people need to be aware of, because when I'm out there talking to people, especially if they have daughters, but across the board, but especially if they have daughters, that this is a very real issue for them, and they're concerned about it. And again, it's another instance where I believe I'm taking the common sense corrective action approach, and my opponent is just on the far left radical, position where she can't get out of her own way, and she takes these positions which just again fail common sense. And so hopefully voters are seeing these contrasts. We're laying them out there every single day on the campaign trail, but the issues that we're talking about, inflation, illegal immigration, even competing in women's sports, these are things that people bring up to me every single day on the campaign trail. And again, people are looking for common sense solutions to all of these things.
Well, State Representative Ryan McKenzie, thank you so much. Thanks for, the conversation. I hope we continue the conversation, but we just wanted to get to know you because after all, this is something that I think that this may be a little bit of a surprise to many people. It's quieter than some of the other, obviously, top of the ticket issues that people are talking about. But you must be thrilled with the polling numbers that are very close with a longtime incumbent like your opponent.
Yeah, look, I mean, we do media, as a part of the campaign because we have to. But really, what we're doing every day is we are doing our work. We are here on the ground, knocking on doors, talking to voters, and we are showing clear track records and a clear difference of direction that people are going to have in this election. Then they get to make the choice. And so, we maybe fly a little bit under the radar, but that's not a bad thing, I think, because we're just grinding it out every single day. That's what's keeping us in this race, keeping this race competitive. And as you said, this is really going to come down to the wire. It's going to be, because we've done all of this hard work leading up to this election, it's going to come down to turnout. And so we are encouraging everybody to get out to vote, get their friends, their family, everybody else. If they want real change in this election, as Ryan McKenzie, I'm asking for their vote. And we need to get rid of Susan Wild, who has not done well for our community for 6 years. She had her chance, but she's only made things worse.
State Rep Ryan McKenzie, thanks for stopping by. I hope we continue the conversation next time. Thanks, Ryan.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. Just wanted to, I wanted to have the conversation. Dan, thank you for setting that up. And I know that he's busy. I hope I didn't torture him too much because it's probably torture to have to do these interviews, So I'm always appreciative of people's time. But it's important because so often I'll talk about Philadelphia, maybe the suburbs. We talk about Trump at the top of the ticket and some of those national situations. But this is somebody who's impacting all of our lives, obviously here in Pennsylvania and the Commonwealth. But as well, this has huge implications. I was looking at, they just had Mike Johnson there on the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries. He was there at some point. They had the minority whip, Catherine Clark, a lot of high-profile Democrats, high-profile Republicans. And you're going to see that as they are focusing in on this area because as I look at those polls, it's too close to call. And this is with somebody, his opponent, Susan Wild. She's been there a long time. And the media keeps calling her moderate. But I think, people are pretty savvy at this point of looking at somebody's voting record. I think that's probably part of what is hurting her. So we'll continue to follow it. Get your thoughts, 855. Oh, my goodness. I can't. This phone number, I'm constantly giving the phone number right, but 855-839-1210 is like the other day, Larry's like, what's for dinner? 855-839-1210. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just crazy, isn't it? The news cycle and trying to keep it all in your head with what's going on here. It's exciting that we are at the center of the storm, if you will. We really are when it comes down to November 5th.
855-839-1210.
Now he's trying to sing.
Doesn't really work now. Yeah.
Hey, my friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Some of the most beautiful brands: Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and so much more. Now, these models have sleek new designs, innovative features powered by the very latest in technology, and they have thousands of new as well as certified pre-owned vehicles available right now across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey, across all their dealerships. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit them, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Life can get hectic. It's easy to lose focus and balance. It's time to retreat from the noise. Take a breath, regain your inner peace. Visit Malvern Retreat House, the nation's oldest and largest Catholic retreat house. Our stunning 125-acre campus is the perfect place to step back, reflect, and recharge. Malvern Retreat House hosts men and women's retreats, helping individuals live life centered on Christ. Go to malvernretreat.com to discover your journey. Retreat from the noise. Hear God's voice.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Pennsylvania Supreme Court rules voters whose mail ballots are rejected because of a mistake can fill out a provisional ballot on Election Day at their polling place. Home invasions in New Jersey are now first-degree crimes with penalties of 10 to 20 years. And Delaware County rolls out a new program to help mental health services for kids.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
They don't call her Confiscation Kamala for nothing. Don't take it from us.
And I support a mandatory buyback program.
A mandatory buyback program? That means the government forcing you to turn in your firearms. To what lengths would Kamala go? Well, she doesn't even support the individual right to own a firearm.
I'm prepared to take executive action and put in place a ban on the importation of assault weapons into our country.
We get it. Sometimes it's tough to understand what she's talking about. But on the Second Amendment and your rights, Confiscation Kamala has been crystal clear. Her gun control agenda comes straight from that petri dish of bad ideas that is California. She can claim to be a gun owner all she wants, but we all know she's the same anti-gun California radical she's always been. Don't be left defenseless. Defeat Confiscation Kamala. Vote Trump like your life depends on it, because it does. NRA Political Victory Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. NRAPVF.org.
Simplify your banking when you open a First Harvest Credit Union growth checking account that gives you easy access to your money for everyday spending while earning as high as 2.0% annual percentage yield. Visit firstharvestcu.com or your nearest branch to get details and open a growth checking account. And watch your money grow. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is a special alert to anyone owing the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or with unfiled tax returns. Write this number down, 800-373-0322. The IRS has ended COVID forgiveness and they are cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to hear about our tax debt reduction programs. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, we still can help you. You may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a mere fraction of what you owe or for other resolution programs. Tax Relief Helpers has tax agents available now for a free consultation. TRH has already helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning them an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you or your business owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands to the IRS, you don't have to be afraid anymore. Call our relief hotline now to see what savings you may qualify for at 800-373-0322. 800-373-0322. Once again, that's 800-373-0322.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Thank you. As we say the number, 855-839-1210. I think I say that number in my sleep. Thanks for being here today. Excited for tomorrow for the live broadcast. So, Dan, you found a little gem, and this is, I think, indicative of what I was discussing with State Representative Ryan McKenzie just a moment ago. The issue of people trying to grapple with an issue that has a whole lot of layers, but something that, because of the Biden-Harris Title IX executive order, everybody's trying to deal with this right before the new school year and just trying to make everything fair. I mean, I think people are fair, parents are fair, but on the other hand, they want to protect their girls and young women in sports. But Dan, you found this is Michigan, right? That's a critical swing state, obviously. And they're trying to grapple with this issue.
Yeah, these two girls come up and speak at a school board meeting, Dawn, and it's they're very passionate about what they say, and then they're kind of diminished a little bit. Take a listen to what they have to say first.
Liana, and I'm an 8th grader at Hart Middle School.
8th grade.
I'm here tonight to bring to your attention what I and many other girls have experienced when using the restroom at school. We have a biological boy using our bathroom and staff blocking off our bathroom, restricting girls from entering as this biological boy uses our bathroom. Encountering a boy in the bathroom makes me feel uncomfortable and unsafe. I shouldn't feel uncomfortable using the bathrooms at school. No girl should ever be uncomfortable because there's a boy in the bathroom alongside of them. We need a solution that ensures the privacy and safety of all students. I have seen something and now I am saying something. I expect you to do something. Thank you.
Articulate, 8th grade.
So there's more of that, Dawn, and we're going to hear more of that after the break, but another girl comes up and has a very passionate plea, and you gotta stay here to hear the reaction of the school board member who's kind of disrespectful, Dawn. It's all put out there.
It's a sin. Well, we'll hear more. I'll update you. Some breaking news. We have Trump news. We have Harris news. Stay right there.
The following is a paid commercial message.
The world was a lot different in 2006. No smartphones, no electric cars. This is how we connected to the internet. And back then, Bob Casey wasn't siding with the far-left liberals. But nearly 2 decades in Washington has changed Bob Casey. Now, Casey's voted to let biological men compete against our girls in their sports, and supported letting biological men into girls' bathrooms and locker rooms. Letting men change next to our girls? That's insane. Worse, Casey introduced a bill to force hospitals to perform sex change operations. Forcing hospitals to perform sex changes against their beliefs? What is Casey thinking? On top of it all, Bob Casey voted to raise middle-class taxes. Your family struggles, but Casey, he is for they, them. Bring normal back to Washington and fire Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey man, come here. You're not going to believe it. I picked up this beautiful model. She's down here.
A model?
Yep, got her from the train store.
In your basement?
See?
Oh, model train.
Whew. Yeah, what'd you think I was talking about?
Nicholas Smith Trains. Become the conductor with any model you can imagine, from classics to new releases and holiday-themed engines. Don't forget to visit Nicholas Smith Trains and Toys this holiday season. NicholasSmithTrains.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
So much developing today. Just if you're keeping track, we have obviously Vice President Harris was here locally. She'll be back in the city on Sunday with running mate, Tim Walz in Philadelphia tomorrow. And then former President Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen, they will hold that big rally and concert that's upcoming next week on Monday.
You going?
No. I'm not. The traffic, I'm just trying to get out of here on time with the traffic. As far as the Trump campaign goes, former President Trump will hold this huge rally at Penn State. We are, what are they going to cheer? We are MAGA or something. What will the cheer be? Right? Yeah. And so and obviously they're playing an away game. So Trump, Penn State, State College this weekend. That is Saturday at J.D. Vance Town Hall in Harrisburg Sunday. So just looking at that one. I think it's a great idea.
What, the Penn State?
Yeah.
Well,
why not?
Because the entire campus is going to be tuned into the football game.
Well,
I would do it the next
What
day
time?
or something.
Well, I don't.
The game's at 7:30 Saturday night.
So, okay, maybe he'll be there earlier.
That's a good. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they should have monitors with the game. That'd be kind of fun. I don't know.
It's probably going to be a blowout anyway.
I know. That's true. But let's get back to, by the way, another headline is that Trump says he'd fire special counsel Jack Smith in 2 seconds if elected again. So that's one of the headlines today. Yeah, I'd fire him too. And by the way, Jack Smith, look at his record just as a prosecutor, not so special. I mean, he's had, his big cases have been overturned. So you can look that up yourself in any event. Another headline. So Dan found this little gem, as I say, these are 8th grade girls, and we've talked a lot and played audio of 8th grade girls. Think about North Penn, the Lansdale area. Think about the local school districts, Bucks County, where this is an issue. And if you're a girl and you feel awkward, don't you have the right to speak out about it? Don't we teach our kids, especially our girls, right, to find your voice, me too, etc.? But let's continue on with this, Dan. I think it's a common theme.
Hi, my name is Jamison Fleming, and I attend Hart Middle School. The past few months, I've heard concerning reports about a biological boy using the girls' bathroom. Initially, I thought these claims were exaggerated until my friends and I encountered this person in the women's restroom. It was an uncomfortable experience. We felt overlooked and disrespected. We returned to class feeling anxious and hesitant to voice our concerns, just like many other girls. I want to be clear, while I support transgender individuals, allowing someone to use the girls' restroom can create an unsettling environment for young women like myself. It's crucial to take action to ensure all girls feel safe and comfortable in spaces designated for them. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this important issue.
Now stop it there, because first of all, this is, I think of when my boys, were this age. These are 7th and 8th grade middle school girls, and this right here is why you think about how advanced they are. You know what I mean? They're really impressive young ladies.
They are,
and so thoughtful and respectful, and saying, well, she's polite and respectful of everybody and transgender. So this is not about trans or anti-trans or anything of that nature. They're just speaking out these are kids. And what are they, 12, 13 years old? And they're saying, I feel awkward. And I'm in my school, and I shouldn't feel this way, right? This is like the most awkward point of your life. And so now, what happens next, Dan?
Yeah, so this is, again, Rochester Community Schools out in Michigan. So you hear the two girls talk, and then a mama bear comes in and kind of summarizes the overall thoughts of the two girls. So we'll hear that first, and then you got to hear the reaction of the school board members. So here's Mama Bear.
Now, I just want to be clear, these girls should not have had to be here tonight on a school night, right?
Agreed.
You should be in bed or going home.
30 seconds.
I am proud that they have
listen to the hag. Wait. Listen, did a hag just say 30 seconds?
Right? You should be in bed or going home.
30 seconds.
I am proud that they have stood up for their rights tonight. Without a bathroom policy in place that maintains sex-based distinctions in facilities like bathrooms and locker rooms and accommodates all students' needs with unisex options, you are putting these girls at risk, as well as the boys and trans student who deserve equal rights, but not extra rights. This could have been avoided back in June of 2023, and I hope that the grown-ups can take care of this now and make the necessary actions. Thank you very much for your time.
So she respectfully doesn't even respond when the haggy, like, hey, 30 seconds, doesn't laugh. I mean, she's obviously nervous.
We're going home.
30 seconds.
I am
can't even, she's nervous. She's up there, but she's proud of how they handled themselves, and it's a school night. They shouldn't have to be up there, and she's right. But she had a great line, where she said, she talked about equality. And I think that's, what was her line again? That was a great line that she actually had, where she's saying, you should be equal. They shouldn't have to fight for it, but I think Mom is correct in what she's saying. Don't you? 855-839-1210.
Who deserve equal rights, but not extra rights.
Equal rights, but not extra rights. Everybody should get equal rights, not extra rights. This mom has a future. I don't know, Kevin Poles and this mom together with, you know what I mean, with the branding and Greg Stocker and the marketing. Wow.
Yeah.
Equal rights, not extra rights. I love that. And so pretty mild, right? It's pretty. I mean, the young ladies, the 7th and 8th grade girls, very polite, very respectful. Mom, very polite, very respectful. And now I'm dreading this. Wait for it.
We passed the LGBTQ support resolution a little while ago. The fear-mongering point was made then about this biological boys in the girls' bathroom being a safety issue. At that time, I asked for evidence that this was the case, evidence that this would cause a safety risk. There were no cases brought forward. I researched it myself just in case I was missing something. There are no cases in our district, our state, or elsewhere that supports the claim that trans kids using the bathroom of their identified gender creates increased risk of safety for other kids. There is no evidence of that claim.
Okay, I need the audience to please.
Discomfort.
Please. If you can't be quiet, we will need to recess.
Sit back
so please.
and take it.
Discomfort with something we are not used to is understandable. But what is our response to that discomfort? How do adults model an appropriate response? Is it to lean into it, or is it to help our kids understand and de-escalate that discomfort with accurate information?
So listen to, first of all, the way that she leans into the microphone and she overmodulates. She sounds like, "Oh, my pretty, and your doggy too." What a what a nasty individual. And first of all, if I'm a school board member, a person who's involved in education, cares about the education, I would say, to our young ladies, that took a lot of courage. Good for you to stand up. And I know that we're all proud of you, but nothing gracious, nothing. She's just so hateful. And just think about this for a minute. What happened to believing her? What happened to that? And this person is standing, is sitting right, feet away from these young ladies who spoke out very eloquently and is basically saying, you don't matter. The way that you feel, the way that this makes you feel doesn't matter. And you don't matter. And so you need to shut up and sit back and take it. That's what she's saying. This is a horrible message, first of all. But for her to, in that tone that's demeaning, that's demoralizing. And I remember being with Riley Gaines, attending one of the events locally. And I know Riley has another event coming up that you'll hear about this weekend here. And Riley saying that she kept as an athlete, competing against and having to change in a locker room where they have no choice. They have to, you don't leave your underpants on when you're a swimmer, right? Because everything has to be sleek. And you have these swimsuits that you're, squeezing into, and they're very tight swimsuits because you don't want a baggy swimsuit because everything is about friction, right? You're in the pool. Every nanosecond matters. And so Riley explaining that they're in a locker room with this huge biological male with his whole apparatus hanging out right there. I'm just saying.
Like you were stopping yourself.
I know. And, 6'3" individual. I was there with Riley. I mean, she's, not a necessarily tall. So it's intimidating. And so, but Riley saying, I was just expecting somebody at my school. She went to UPenn, Ivy League. Somebody would stand up for me, the coach or the teachers or somebody. And of course her dad, and she was like, "Dad, not you," because Dad, you could only imagine, was upset. But she realized nobody's going to speak out. Nobody's going to get this done. And thanks to Riley Gaines and those brave young women, they now lead the pathway for these girls. These are underage girls who shouldn't have to put up with this. And it makes my blood boil. It really does. And I think that we will look back on this time as just an embarrassment, quite frankly. This is why Riley Gaines and many athletes, they are suing. They're suing right now. That's I hate to say it. You know me. I'm not a litigious person, but these girls, their parents need to get lawyers, and they need to say that their civil rights are being violated, their human rights are being violated, and that's it. Just sue and let the courts decide. Let the court has to hear from them, I guess. That's my take on it. I hate to say it.
Hey, so we got some developing news out of Chester County. Guy Shiraki's going to hop on with us after the break. Some voting machines might be down and some concerning news.
Chester County. Also in Chester County, a relative, thank you, Stacia, sent me that Vivek Ramaswamy and others, I guess, are at Westchester University or going to universities across Pennsylvania. It's pretty good stuff. So we'll get into that. We'll get into the breaking news. Thanks to Guy. We got a guy. And Guy Shiraki. All that and more. Be right back.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over. Oh my gosh, sorry!
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying,
will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan. With one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
Attention thrill seekers! It's the Monster Truckload Hot Tub Sale at Springdance Hot Tubs with deals so monstrous they'll send shivers down your spine. Save up to $5,000 on hot spring and Caldera hot tubs. Plus, the excitement continues with bonus accessories worth up to $3,000, salt system, insulated cover, and more. But beware, these monster-sized deals are only here until October 27th. Don't miss your chance. Visit Springdance Hot Tubs at springdancehottubs.com before these deals vanish for good.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Save during Martin Water Conditioning's 51st anniversary sale. Save up to $500 on select systems. Martin's is offering $100 off Kinetico's K5 reverse osmosis system. Improve your drinking water for less. And if you purchase a water softener, you may be eligible for a free Kinex salt monitor worth over $150. Special 18 and 48-month financing is available to those who qualify. These deals are mutually exclusive and end at the end of October. Visit martinwater.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
Not yet.
Do it today.
Okay.
At 1210 WPHT.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on?
one of the greatest protest songs ever. What is going on? And the word is, the breaking news of the moment, the SURE, the SURE system, is down statewide right now across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we want to get the latest from where it's happening as well in Chester County. Guy Shiraki, good morning. I'm so sorry to hear this.
Good morning, Dawn. Yes, Commissioner Eric Rowe, who's one of the 3 elected county commissioners in Chester County, has shared this news. There are, once again, hundreds of people in line at voter services in Chester County to go voting, and they've been advised the system is off. What it essentially means to your listeners is that the statewide database of registered voters has become inaccessible. So when you show up to drop off your ballot, or when you show up to, as I call it, to mail-in vote in person, they can't verify who anyone is. They can't record you as voted. So all early voting in Pennsylvania has ceased until they can get the system back up online.
This is, I think, for so many people on so many levels, this is concerning because we have this record situation, Guy, of people going out, being told that they should vote, early, that they should register to vote on time, as, so many did. So what do you see here? What are you hearing from, even fellow voters in Pennsylvania? Does it matter which side of the aisle you're on? I just think everybody says, what's going on here? Because we talk all the time about election integrity, and hearing that a system is down and then people standing in line, you can't help but think, who's doing this and who benefits? Yeah,
it does give question. However, I'm going to make what may seem a strange appeal. I think, in a sense, this underscores why you do want to consider going to vote early. Because if this were to happen on November 5th, if this were to happen Election Day, there's very little that can be done about it. If the system goes down Election Day and you can't vote, or they can't count and record who's voted, look, this is a problem. And you hit the nail on the head. So many of us are so skeptical and so cynical that when these things happen, you don't know whether it's just, a problem we all have. Our computers go down, our network goes down, or somebody has done something wrong, whether it's a foreign power, somebody on the left or the right. But the reality is right now it's not happening. But again, I want to make what may seem a contradictory plea, which is this is really the reason over the next 11 days that you should find the time, if you're able to vote by mail or vote in person early, because if, heaven forbid, this happens Election Day, this could literally change the outcome of the race.
Yeah, and I just wanted to, and this is why it's great that we're live and we're local, because I know that coming up at 1 o'clock, after this breaking news is happening, and we'll get an update from Al Schmidt, who will join our own Dom Giordano, and that's coming up at 1 o'clock today, obviously, Secretary of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So we'll get, word from Al Schmidt as to when they believe that this SURE system, when the system's going to be back up, and what that means for people. It's hard because right now it's a lot of people might even scooch out from work, take an early lunch break, and so you hate to hear this, that voters then think, oh shoot, this was my day, I planned for this. But you make a great point, Guy, that if people can do this early, it's one more reason to get it done, and that way you can come back tomorrow. There's not that finality to it.
Yeah, and it shows you, much like our lives, Dawn. I mean, why in some cases some things are technologically advanced and modernized, yet we're susceptible rather to these glitches. And it's a reason to consider early voting. It's a reason to understand the problems. And it's all the more reason that folks like Al Schmidt, former Philadelphia City Commissioner, election commissioner, now the statewide boss, the Secretary of the Commonwealth. It's why all the more reason that elected officials need to be accountable and transparent and talk to us and share information quickly, because as I say, you want easy to vote, hard to cheat, and results we can trust. And the results we can trust part is really built around transparency and honesty. So I'm glad he's coming on. Was scheduled to come on, but he really needs to explain what happened and how quickly it'll get back. and what they're doing to make sure that this doesn't happen Election Day. What are the fail-safes? And we know the stories from 2020. Again, what's not in dispute. What we know, the things that the Democrats and Republicans agree, the counties that run out of ballots, the polling places that lost power, the things that can happen Election Day. So I hope we get to the bottom of this, and I hope and pray that this is just your garden variety technical snafu and not somebody, foreign or domestic, trying to interrupt things in what is the most critical swing state in the nation. But if you're in line and you can stay. If you have to leave, please come back. Don't leave this to chance for Election Day.
Yeah, amen. I just want to touch on, since I have you, Broad and Liberty, your latest piece. So I'll just do a little promo, broadandliberty.com. Guy Shiraki, why does Kamala Harris, the vice president, prefer suburban voters to Philadelphians? A great piece, in Broad and Liberty, as usual, Guy Shiraki, that you've authored. But why do you think that is? She was in Delco last night. I know that maybe she feels more comfortable. If that's comfortable, I don't know. That's not so good. I mean, she's still kind of awkward.
Yeah, but again, candidates, where they go, what they say, and how they spend their time tells you volumes. She's in Washington's Crossing at a staged event, as many candidates, but she's at Washington's Crossing with a relatively small invitation-only crowd with Liz Cheney. She then goes to Malvern in Chester County for a state, what we're now told is essentially a play. How appropriate it was at People's Light and Theater. It essentially was a play, an invited audience with her on the stage for a, quote, town hall where no one was allowed to ask questions because pre-selected questions were there. And then last night in Delco, to go to a theater in Aston and not really be accessible to voters. And she was in Philly for about 10 minutes and popped into 4th Street Deli, which is hardly, again, who doesn't love the 4th Street Deli? But the 4th Street Deli is really a political hangout. It's not a neighborhood. So I've drawn the conclusion that, look, she likes staged events in suburban settings, or sort of, where the elite hang out, if you will, where the important people hang out. She doesn't really, you don't see her campaigning in African-American or Hispanic neighborhoods. You don't see her shaking hands and kissing babies. A lot of the things where, you don't see her wearing an apron and serving French fries. I mean, she's just not comfortable with people. And I've come to the conclusion with 11 days out, this is not an accident. She prefers to be in staged events with, if you will, a little better off people than sitting with blue collar workers or talking to, families in West Philly. And as I conclude in the column, maybe it tells you who she is, and maybe she's not running to fix the problems of the working class. She's not running. She's running to talk about abortion, democracy, and Donald Trump. And to your point, I think that was on display last night. I mean, she's running for president to talk about Donald Trump, abortion rights, and all these wonderful word salads. And there are real people with real concerns. She doesn't really talk to them. And I think those folks are coming to the conclusion, if she were to win, her presidency is not about helping them. And that's why I think more and more of them are giving pause and considering Trump.
Guy Shiraki, thank you so much for, hopping on. And this is what's so great. We really appreciate you and all your great wisdom. And hopefully, like you say, this SURE system, the fact that this is down, we'll get some answers upcoming, and they'll get it back up again very quickly. Thanks, Guy.
You're welcome. I'll let you know when it fixes.
Thank you so much.
We hope soon. Thanks. Bye.
What an aggravation. I hate to hear that. And by the way, just remember, here we are, TikTok, October 24th. October 29th is the last day that you can request a mail-in or absentee ballot for the upcoming Tuesday, November 5th general election. So just, keep that deadline in mind. If you're thinking about, maybe I should request a mail-in or absentee ballot, October 29th is upcoming. So it's right around the corner. And then for Election Day, just remember, Tuesday, November 5th, 8 p.m. at night, that Tuesday night, 8 p.m., that is the deadline for the office to receive your completed mail-in or absentee ballot or your in-person ballot, 8 p.m. on election night. So, and then I think we're all going to be live. I think we're all going to be here election night, November 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, we'll see.
You didn't get that memo?
I didn't get a memo. No. I was left out of that one.
I mean, Dom's always here.
Yeah.
But
That man sleeps here. So.
Yeah, he sleeps here pretty much. He's like workaholic. But I think they're going to maybe rotate the rest of us, so we'll be live and local.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I better shush.
News to me, yeah.
Yeah, I better shush. I thought that's what the memo said.
I'm not playing a part here. I'm not trying to be mum. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah.
Well, we'll get it down. 855-839-1210 is we got a great guest coming up. We've got more news. We'll update everything right around the corner.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
A cold front has passed through the Delaware Valley, allowing for a cooler air mass to return. Plenty of sunshine and breezy today with a high near 70. Tonight, chilly, mostly clear, low 43 for the city and colder out in the suburbs. And a cooler day on Friday, plenty of sunshine with a high 67.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. Enjoy all the NFL action with a chance to win on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can bet $5 to get $300 in bonus bets if you win a bet on a game for Week 8 in the NFL. Let's look to your Philadelphia Eagles against the Cincinnati Bengals. This game is now 1 o'clock. The Eagles are the underdog in this game at plus 2.5. I would definitely take the Eagles plus 2.5 right now, or the under at 49.5. You can bet on all kinds of stuff on this app. There's a parlay hub, popular bets, FanDuel Squares. There's so much you can bet on. It's all right there. FanDuel.com/Greg. Make every moment more this season. FanDuel.com/Greg. Don't forget that /Greg there, GREG. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT and the NFL. 21 and over. President, Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Natural disasters happen every year. Fires, hurricanes, tornadoes. And with that, your most important moments recorded on VHS, camcorder tapes, and 8mm could all be gone in an instant. Cherished moments like your wedding, baby's first steps, family trips to Yellowstone, lost. Enter Legacy Box. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box protects your irreplaceable memories from the threat of natural disaster by digitally preserving them onto thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, so they're safe forever. Legacy Box is the safest and easiest way to preserve your past, which is why it's been trusted by over 1 million families. Send Legacy Box your home movies, photos, and film. Their team of trained professionals will do the rest right here in the U.S. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering radio listeners an incredible 50% off. Go to legacybox.com/value and save 50% when you digitize your memories. That's legacybox.com/value.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Thanks, Dan. Dan just said I'm hot.
You know I should watch that. I do it to every host.
Thanks, Dan.
And Matt Rooney calls me out on it sometimes. Dom never calls me out on it. But you know what? Maybe I should watch that sometime. You are hot.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, that's as in your mic is hot.
I know.
You are beautiful, Dawn. You are absolutely beautiful.
Dave.
Yes.
Very sweet. Very sweet. I know. My husband,
the recovery there.
Right. Here's the thing: when you're a mom and a wife, you're like the invisible woman. I always say I could go rob a bank. I could just walk in, no mask, just walk in, rob the bank.
Oh, get out
Invisible
of here.
woman.
No. You ever read the comments that you get in the Kale and Company morning?
They're just kind.
Yeah, okay.
They're just kind, good people.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I don't know what it is with this election. This morning, I just do you feel just in a way you can't wait for it to be over? I'm
100%
right?
there. Yeah, my mind's like 2 weeks from now. Can't wait.
And I'm always respectful.
Mental vacation coming up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just always respectful to all sides and listening to people. But if I'm being real, and you know I am, I just think to myself, I don't even see that this should be close. As if you're just, and that was, I think it was Sharon and Shannon. We were all having, I forget because I'm texting. Believe me, when I'm talking live, I'm multitasking, then I'm answering some of your stuff on the group chat on YouTube. Then I have family and friends who agree. Most of the family will criticize me because I'm not being like conservative enough. You know what I mean? So I'm getting, you know what I mean? I'm getting all this
from all sides.
Yeah, I'm hearing from all sides, and I'm trying to text and DM, but the deal is, and my theme of the morning is get away from some of the superficial stuff as far as, you know, the vice president talking about her personality traits or anything of that nature, if she's likable or not. To me, that I agree with the statement that was made last night, which I think was the most profound statement I've heard on the campaign trail. And that was from a mom, Pam, from our area, who was on CNN, and she was just this likable mom who clearly has been through it with tragedy and her husband dying and left to, you know, raise the children, and some are in college, and she does her own taxes. And her statement really struck me at like a 2x4 on the head. You know, when they were all the pundits and they're talking about everything else and your head's kind of spinning about everything else. And you know what Pam said from our area? She just said, you know what? I'm going to vote for my kids. And her statement just shut up all those high paid, you know, these are CNN pundits, Dana and Tapper, Strapper, and, you know, all of them were up there, Anderson Cooper, and boom, when she spoke so clearly and said, basically, she didn't want to hear their high school gossip crud as far as all the talk back and forth with, you know, their trash talk, because she doesn't even know who these people are. She said, I'm going to vote for my kids, meaning kind of a James Carville moment. It's all about the economy, stupid. But I do think it was a profound moment, you know, because that's what you know. That's what strikes you. It's the economy. It's your kids. And by the way, not for nothing, I relate to Pam in the sense that, like Pam, you know, all of us with kids, no matter what age, my kids were in middle school when the pandemic struck. We all know how that hurt. It hurt our kids. It hurt our jobs. Like at the time, my husband, you know, losing a job, the company sold. A lot of companies just got the heck out of business. And so now you're dealing with joblessness. You're dealing with all of this stuff. And the kids, and here in Philadelphia, remember that the kids didn't even have tablets. So what forced Philadelphia school children, remember that, online, was because they didn't even have Wi-Fi. They didn't have a tablet. So now, and all of a sudden now, because of the high crime, kids are they're not allowed to go outside and play, right? They're supposed to stay inside and Zoom, and now they've got a tablet, and now they've got the internet. And so for those people trying to sue, by the way, you know, Zuckerberg and all that stuff, and Why don't they look at the fact that those kids had never really been on the internet that much? Now they were forced on it. You see what I'm saying? And so all of this, I just feel like there's this anger swelling up with all of us. We're sick of it. Let's get to my friend Hope Danoff, who's here, who needs no introduction. When Hope Danoff, let me just tell you this about Hope while I get to you, Hope. When Hope walks into one of these huge events where, you have people like, Arkansas governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Hope walks in, everybody's like, Hope! Everybody loves Hope. Everybody knows Hope. And Hope keeps hope alive. I'm not kidding you. So, you are so positive energy, and what you're doing is fantastic. How are you, my friend?
Oh, my goodness. I want to tell you, Dawn, you are gorgeous. I want to just say yes to that. We are doing so incredible out here, and I just want to tell you that I was listening to your show, as I always do. And this morning I got a text from this lovely guy named Rudy that talked to me about ballots with deficiencies. In Montgomery County releases a list of ballots with deficiency, and there's still time to correct. So what I'm saying to you is that, I'm on the boots on the ground every single day throughout Philly and Montgomery County. And the bottom line is that we are going to win this election because people on the grassroots from all different walks of life are on target here. For example, a gentleman texted me yesterday. He said, I'm spending $9 for Trump for Israel, and I want to drop off 33 for you. We're going to put them at every polling place. Then I have this gentleman, Rudy, who said, listen, what we're going to do here is we're going to call each one of these people. There's 300 and the Jenkintown office as well, to make sure that their ballots are corrected. They already kicked them out and said they're not going to be good. So that's another thing that's going on. I just donated from Republicans with Hope $2,000 for mailers for Trump and McCormick, and to flood Montgomery County as well. So what I'm seeing here, besides, working with Trump Force 47 in Philly with the flag waving, is that people are putting their own money and their own energy into really winning this election. And it's really, the other day, because I talk to people always, from all different walks of life, but it really came to me is that, I'm sad. I'm sad for my country. If you're our forefathers, could you imagine if they saw what our country looked like today? I think they would all cry.
Yeah.
It's gotten to a place where you mentioned about mothers and families where we don't recognize it anymore, and we're going to take our country back.
Tell me about the upcoming events. It's Riley Gaines, Tulsi Gabbard here at a Stand with Women big event. We were just, Dan had found audio from a school board where, there were 7th, 8th grade girls standing up just like Riley Gaines has done. So it's an exciting event coming up here this weekend.
Yes, there's an event called Independent Women's Voice with Tulsi Gabbard and Riley Gaines, and it's this coming October 27th at 11 a.m. If anyone wants to go, just contact me at republicanswithhope@gmail.com. But another event, it's a private event, but just to touch on that subject as well, I was just invited to something called Do No Harm. And it also touches with these doctors that, again, started this with their own money to be able to educate people about kids transitioning before the age of 18. So it's called Do No Harm, and I'm going to be going to that next week as well.
And so, again, Republicans for Hope. And you have some exciting news that, you've been brainstorming about moving forward even past this election to keep the momentum going. So you have some exciting news of your own.
I do. What I'm going to do, Dawn, is that I'm starting something. We have the board members all together, and we're starting something, a nonprofit called Building Bridges with Hope. And what's that really about? It's about, I want to bring people together from all different walks of life that we can have a common ground. 80% of the country, really, we agree on so many of these issues. And it's really, the mission statement is really a positive discourse for positive change, a broad coalition that welcomes all viewpoints. Together, we will move America forward. So it's really about bringing people together with panel discussions, what we can agree upon, but also I want to work in the inner cities too about, making sure that kids have Christmas, that have a parent that's incarcerated, but also helping people understand the values of the father being in the home and to create a really good, strong family structure. Because with that, there's always success behind that.
Hope, I love it. I think, even though we say that, oh, this is so divisive and there's a lot of ugliness, I do think that, I think of the Riley Gaines of the world, the Hope Danoffs of the world, where in many ways this has become a positive for you, and I think ignited something within your spirit. And it's really the true American spirit as a patriot. That's what you are, to move this forward and try to bring people together.
Absolutely. The thing is that I couldn't stand back and see what was happening to my country. And also my daughter lives in Israel. And it just didn't look like America to me anymore. I'm a woman in my 60s, and I just knew what it was like before. I had a perspective. And I'm just like, what? You can't say God bless America? That's bad. We can't, love our police force. We can't love our military. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm just not going to stand by and let this happen. But the amazing thing, Dawn, is that we are going to win this election. I feel it, boots on the ground, and people are excited. They can't wait to vote. And then after this, let's join together, break bread together, and let's work on things we can work on once again together to move America forward.
Amen. By the way, you broke the number one rule. We never give our age because, 60s are the new 40s. Okay. So right. For the record, my friend.
Well, I'm 20. Did I say 60? I meant 23.
Hope, thank you so much. Let me tell you something. You outrun all the 40-year-olds and all the 50-year-olds, so trust me. All right, Hope Danoff, thank you so much. Until next time, my friend.
You got it. Thanks so much, Dawn.
Absolutely. Hope Danoff. She's just such a sweetheart.
Yeah, she is.
Right?
Bright light.
She is. She is a bright light. I'm so proud of her. And I knew that she would do things beyond this election, but it's really not. That's the thing I noticed even on our Italy trip. We don't conservatives, we don't sit around and talk about politics.
Was Hope on the trip?
She wasn't.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying that's one thing that we mentioned. That would have been awesome. She should, actually.
Yeah.
But there was one thing that on the last Italy trip, and even with Hope, we go to these events, we're not talking about politics. We're talking about life and the policies that affect our lives, right? So much to talk about. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The leaves are changing color, the air is crisp, and it's the perfect time to fall into savings on a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. Take advantage of these incredible offers. A 2025 XC40 for only $435 per month on a 36-month lease. A 2024 C40 for only $329 per month on a 36-month lease. Or get 3.99% financing on select new Volvos for 72 months. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Today is the first day Philadelphia City Council could authorize legislation for the proposed Sixers arena. New mothers in PA will get information about postpartum depression under a new law signed by Governor Shapiro. And a new survey shows most Americans feel they can't add to their savings because of inflation.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
New Jersey, this is Lieutenant Governor Tahisha Way. Vote in person on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, or early in person starting Saturday, October 26th, or vote by mail. Details at vote.nj.gov.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Odyssey's I'm Listening is our commitment to more mental health conversations. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, call 988 for support.
I'm a crisis counselor. 988 is for everyone. If you're dealing with emotional distress, grief, loss, 3 digits, and someone is picking up the phone to support.
Talk saves lives. Visit imlistening.org. Presented by the 988 Lifeline and the Philadelphia Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services.
Too many people are experiencing suicidal crisis or mental health related distress without support. But there is hope. The 988 Lifeline helps people who are struggling to overcome mental health related issues. It's okay to not be okay. The Philadelphia Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services is here for you. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, call 988 for support. Trained crisis counselors are standing by. That's 988.
Free speech lives here. With Dom Giordano weekdays noon till 3 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
Love this song. So we were looking if Trump, as of yet, had in fact reacted and given a statement publicly, at a rally or to an interviewer as far as this hit piece by the New York Times, and perfectly placed, was it not? Less than 2 weeks before an election where they interviewed former Chief of Staff John Kelly, right after he makes these claims against the Republican presidential candidate's views of Adolf Hitler. And it was teed up perfectly, wasn't it? Right before the vice president of the United States was to go on a CNN live town hall, she could riff calling her opponent fascist and this and that and the other thing. There's no evidence, there's no recording, there's no tangible evidence, there are no other witnesses. But this is what is being said. Trump, and rightly so, he's furious. He did release a statement on social media and called it a complete lie, said thank you for your support against a total degenerate, John Kelly, who he says is a pure Trump derangement syndrome and hatred. And he goes on to call him other things, Jello, tough and dumb, etc. Calls him names. But in my opinion, when you hear the headlines and you hear so many people, one of the headlines first thing this morning was, well, this is basically the former Chief of Staff, John Kelly, calling 911. And I would submit to you, okay, that's a great analogy. You know what that's like? That's like witnessing a violent, vicious crime where somebody's just laying there and you witness the whole thing and they're bleeding and they need help, and you wait years to call 911. You call 911 I'm going to go on and I'm going to call 911 4 or 5 years later, whatever that looks like. So this is not, when you call 911, you call 911 right during or right after you see something. You call 911 ASAP. But that's not what this was. So I do love, whenever you see the 911 analogy, oh, isn't that good? 911. Yeah, we don't call 911 many years later, okay? So I don't think this will stick. I don't think it'll gain traction. I don't. We talked about it all morning, so that's all I'm going to say about it. And this as still, you don't see much in the headlines. I know that Austin did talk about this and confirm those 3,000 soldiers training, North Korean soldiers training in Russia, and I've been updating that, but I don't see a whole lot on that. I would think that's a major story. So we talk a lot about this as far as, the major headlines, but we don't really see anything other than right now talking about Trump. That's what the vice president talked about. She didn't lead. She didn't show her leadership abilities. And that's the real problem that I have with this. To that point, Gabe in Springhouse, Pennsylvania. Hey, Gabe.
Hey, Dawn. How are you?
Good.
Okay, so you must have heard me through the wires because I thought about this morning. Trump's media enablers, not only for the last 4 years and the last 3 years, as they sort of held back information about Biden's health and all the other stuff, have the nerve to come out and talk about, as Kamala Harris said, Trump's a fascist. That's a really high-powered word that has a lot of negative connotation. Trump's life has been threatened, whether you like the guy or not. He's bombastic. I get it. But at the end of the day, this guy there's been 2 attempts on his life. I thought we were supposed to move back and be courteous. So here's what I'll just say in the 1 minute that I have left here, 10 seconds. If I'm Donald Trump, I'm holding a news conference today at 6 o'clock, prime time, inviting all the other folks that want to come in, fake or not. And I'm going to tell people, say, look, we get lost in our rhetoric, but these kinds of statements, they're inflaming. My family's lives have been threatened. My life has had an attempt on it twice. Luckily, I turned my head in time. And by the way, hypocrisy knows no bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, Nancy Pelosi ripped up the State of the Union address in front of 70 million people. Who's anti-democracy here? So if I'm Trump, I'm acting presidential. I'm assuming that role already. There's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Gabe, thank you so much. Trump, other social media posts, we can't afford 4 more years of Kamala. That's one. And he also put out there that he was thrilled to be back in the great state of Georgia. Thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. I suspect that he feels like he's a news leader. So I suspect moving forward, wherever he goes, whatever he says, that's what's going to make the headline. And so maybe he just feels like, you know what? I'm going to move on. I put out a statement. This is not true. It's old news. Let's move on, America, and make America great again. Oh, and by the way, wasn't her rhetoric dangerous? After, to Gabe's point, there were 2 assassination attempts. One actually hit him. Let's get to Dom Giordano. The breaking story of the hour really is this news that the Sure program, our election machines are down. We have people standing in lines. I'm getting texts and so on. So we're all over it, live, local. Dom, I look forward to, you've got 2 huge interviews. I have no doubt, once again, you're going to break some news today.
Yeah, Al Schmidt, what a day to have him. Yeah. And after the last time, Dawn, even more questions are out there. We'll see what he says about this. And we have the Chester County Commissioner coming on in just a second to tell us what is happening on the ground out there. And, Dawn, we have this Penn State case with James Franklin I just saw, and 2 players accused of rape, and the refusing to answer anything on it. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Dom Giordano Show is right now.